Hello my friends, and big thanks to all subscribers and moderators, and also a big welcome to all the new members. So some really great news ahead, and I think it's going to be exciting that you can learn how to win a free reading. So let's start with some kind of like general info. So this is a general reading. So that means I don't want the freak out, hey, it's not catered to special me, it's just me, and not every detail of my life is being covered. Well, I'm sorry, sweetie, but this is a general reading. So how I do it, I kind of like focus on everybody of that sign, and also on their ascendant, also on their moon, and also on all the people who might be actually cross-watching. So plenty of people there, so two people of the same sign are never the same. Nothing really beats private readings, so just keep that in mind. Now, what I do suggest is, like, definitely, as I mentioned, to check your sun sign, check your ascendant, check your moon sign. And if you're cross-watching for somebody else, then also check the same, like sun sign, ascendant, and moon, and also their Mars. That's going to tell you their really attitude toward relationships and how basically this is like resonating at this particular time. Now, I really want to also say something else before I go to that great part that you're like waiting for, that this reading, like if you get a private reading, this is like on a double special. First of all, it's only $50, and second of all, you are still taking advantage of the speed up promotion. So it is about 7 days. I'm not going to guarantee exactly the same 7 days because sometimes I have the monthly readings, but within the 7 to 9 days you get the reading back. If it's a regular reading, you can upgrade it to Russian Urgent, but this is really up to you. So are you excited? Let's get to the fun part. And one on social media, so off you go. So guys, it's very simple. If you're being called to be a winner, you just basically from that nick you send, put your email, and that way we know it is you, and that's all you need to do. In the comments you give your email, and then you're contacted at that email, and that's all that takes. So there you go. So I hope to see you on Saturday on live reading, and not only one Saturday but many Saturdays, and many of you are present. So all you have to do is like, hey, I'm here, hi Kat, I'm in Toronto, I am in Arkansas, I am in Michigan. So all you need to do is just like announce yourself, and you have to be present when this is drawn. So this is kind of like a good start, especially for those of you who never had private reading. It's very therapeutic. I'm not fortune teller, I'm actually kind of guiding you through the process, and that's kind of like easy for everybody, so nothing to be scared of. What I'm going to do the next is I'm going to explain to you how I came up with this Is Your Ex Coming Back spread. This is only for the people who are actually wanting their exes to come back. So I don't want to hear, oh, I want an ex back. Just go to the different reading. It's all cool. If you have seen this, if you are a steady kind of like person here, just jump to the reading, see the timestamps below. It took me forever to find a combination of 7 cards that can actually work out and give me the information. These cards are taken from a different deck. They're called significators, and they're going to be identical to every single reading. They're kind of like telling me the category about what they need to know about this particular relationship between you and the person you're asking about. It is only for the people who are, as I said, looking for somebody and want to know more. The magician is going to tell me the quality of this relationship, if this is really a starter, if you cannot go in a different direction, and if this is going to happen. The temperance reversed is going to tell me what is off, what needs to be glued, what needs to be repaired. Is the situation right? Is the person right? What is wrong? And we are going to realize that. Then we have 2 significators. They are interchangeable, either or. You can kind of like pick one, you will see which one resonates more, and also the energy and the communication in between. The Judgment card is our karma card. It's going to tell me, hey, is this supposed to go on? What is supposed to happen here in between everybody? And what do we really need to expect? That's fine designating. And finally, we can make an educated guess to see where is this heading? Where is this going? But again, guys, I did tell you, private reading is private reading. It's only your energy that is involved. So let's start. Scorpio, let's see what's going on in September for you guys. So you have, wow, the Star, Three of Pentacles, Knight of Cups, Ten of Swords reversed. Why? The Moon reversed, Five of Wands, and wow, 4 wands and 4 wands. Now that's kind of like important. Let me zoom this in for you a little bit here. So I think you're still experiencing like some kind of euphoric feeling. You're still kind of like hoping. You're willing to offer your love to someone who is for some reason either very jealous or secretive, or there is like not I would say merging of kind of like the ideas, which kind of like is really needed for a relationship to kind of go to the next level. There is like absolutely indication that boundaries need to be set, that you guys have to decide really whether you are with this person, you're not with this person. There was sort of like the path that kind of like went nowhere. It kind of like had lots of distraction, and like you're standing here very, very strongly saying, well, I'm still offering you this cup of love, having this Knight of Cups. But at the same time, simultaneously, you're going upstairs and downstairs, and it's not a great position to be in, right? Because the Star card talks about self-healing, talks about hope, talks about kind of like, hey, understanding, maybe kind of like higher picture and kind of like where you're going. On the other hand, the Moon card is like really never good news when I see that in a relationship. The Moon reversed is better than upright because it's saying that something is going to come through. Maybe you have been dealing with a person who is not transparent. Maybe you have been dealing with somebody who you couldn't kind of like penetrate, and I don't mean that way, guys, dirty minds. I simply mean you guys are so deep. You guys really want to kind of find out the dirtiest, the ugliest part of this person and embrace them. And that is like what is really special about you. You're not going to shy away from anything, but not everybody's like that, and people like to hide their dirt, and that is like going to be really needed for this person to come through, because it looks like something is coming to, or did come to an end, or the end of the cycle was kind of like finishing. Also I see here 10 and 3 is like 13. That is the Death card. You are like hiding over here, and there is like a need for the new cycle, and you're actually not quite sure about that. That's what I said, you're going upstairs and downstairs at the same time. You kind of like want to go toward this person and be lovey-dovey and offer pretty much everything, but you know on some level that is really hard for you to build. Maybe that's a House of Cards that you are dealing, but Four of Wands and Four of Wands is actually good. It means that something needs to go on the next level. So whether or not this is being together or not being together, the decision is going to be where you will feel at peace with it. So let's see where this is heading. Queen of Swords, and look, you have the Temperance reversed on Temperance reversed. I must have had Scorpio in my mind when I was developing the spread. You have King of Wands. Yes, you want something permanent, and there is this like 10 on 10 over here. Again, I'm seeing some kind of like secrets over here. It is kind of like very difficult for you to deal with this person, because like it was a moving target. Whenever you felt that you kind of like figure certain things out, you actually really didn't. And there is like this Temperance, like you have a fire sign or 2 fire signs even around you, and maybe even an air sign. The Queen of Swords also can talk about, look, you know, let's kind of like make certain kind of like decision over things, because Queen of Swords is taking things down to the bare bones, right? It's almost like when you try to create elaborate project and all of a sudden the wheels are not working and stuff, so let's start it all over again. Let's strip it down to the stuff which was that it was working. because it is kind of like also that something you're looking in the past, maybe some situation that didn't work out, that kind of like had that kind of like feeling, not the right time, not the right place, maybe not the right person. But also you almost looks like you're forcing yourself moving forward in spite of like really not knowing where you're heading. It looks like you're dealing with somebody who is kind of like not either communicative or not. It's somebody who kind of like really needs to be pried open, but that person doesn't want to be alone and also doesn't want to go in anything serious with you. So again, you're going upstairs and downstairs at the same time, and so are they're going upstairs and downstairs at the same time. So that's, I think, the problem. Are you going at the same time upstairs and same time downstairs, or always is going to be some kind of like chase around? And that's why this is saying, look, you know what, maybe you need to remove the stairs to start with, and you are both kind of like grounded and see where the chips fall. It's kind of like really, really interesting over here that I see. They might actually take kind of like a pause button and going to say, I really need to get to my senses. I need to know who I am, because it looks like the partner really needs some kind of like stabilization. And you need to kind of like figure out, like you have like two majors next to you. You really need to figure out how important you are and what is important to you. It looks to me you really want something serious, and you're questioning if this person actually can provide that. But as I said, I'm actually possibly seeing two and maybe even three people, right? You have a King of Wands and you have a King of Pentacles over here. So one is right, one is wrong. It's kind of as clear as that. But one of them can be you, and one of them can be like what you want and how you are kind of like processing this situation over here. So let's see what is next. Three of Cups reversed. Well, there is the Karma card coming out here, and it's coming in what needs to be fixed. So it looks like you're dealing with some kind of like karmic homework, and this is telling you you're kind of like failing, you're failing, and there is like not enough joy that is happening. Maybe there is like a third party over here that I'm feeling. Maybe that's what needs to be cut, right? Because Queen of Swords is kind of, as I'm saying, like cutting down on bare bones. Exactly. It is telling you that you need to shift and moving forward and need to be able to trust. And I think this was kind of like what he's talking about. Something came to basically the end of the road and a new thing has to happen, but certain things are from the past resurfacing, and this could be from the past lives, can be as far back as centuries and centuries that you have been chasing each other tails, sort of a thing. And here you are, Queen of Cups, need to find back your emotional sea legs over here, find this like big cup of emotion. You're feeling really comfortable in this situation. But you do have a fire, you do have a Temperance, you do have Aquarius, you have possible Pisces over here as well. So there are like lots of different energy influences. Six of Pentacles, Page of Wands reversed, and then also Six of Cups. So there it is, like that soulmate communication over here. As I told you, there is a karmic soulmate over here clearly going on. So Fool generally to me is solo. When I see Fool, that means you're turning a new leaf, you're finding what works for you, you're finding what doesn't work for you. It looks like this other person needs to kind of stabilize. They need to kind of like figure out the solution, that if they are in a position to give, they have to give, if they are in a position to take. But that equilibrium that this card is calling for needs to be established, where I'm not so sure that you have the energy, like sort of like they feel like exhausted. They feel like somebody unplugged them. There is like no electricity in there. They're kind of like still, there is like a lots of things here that I see living in the past. You know, that's sort of like when you kind of like reach certain level in a relationship and you say, remember back then how we were happy, and that kind of things. And that's good. That's what the Queen of Swords does. She goes back to, yes, when we were happy, what was it that we were doing over here? So there is like still the shadow of Mercury retrograde that we are going through, that I do see that partner can actually creep up and show up, and even show up with the big promises. But as quickly as they give the promise, that quickly they can possibly go back to, oh my gosh, you know, I am so tired, I need to. The whole issue here is the commitment. That's what I see. And you need to kind of like figure out certain things for yourself over here. What works for you, what doesn't work for you, because ultimately you want a relationship full of trust over here. And you want to give yourself unreservedly, but you also want that there is this exchange between give and take. And it's kind of like on few different levels. Look at this. This is basically you, and it's really indicating that Scorpio needs kind of like, let's say, fixing, like sort of like, I guess you need to slap yourself and say, okay, what is it I'm missing? What is that I need? Maybe you neglected yourself here in the process and put somebody else as more important. But I do have to tell you, the other person thinks that they are doing the right thing. They do think that, but at the same time they don't have energy to do anything, and for them the right thing is like not to commit. So it is going to be really interesting. As I said, there are like lots of people. There are two queens and there are two kings, and there's a page of wands. It could be the family structures that I'm seeing here, but I'm sure, guys, you might actually drop me a note and tell me what's going on. So my dear Scorpio, again, this might not be you. Get your own private reading. That's the best way really to know. And something is brewing. Clearly decide what you want so it comes to you. That's what a Fool says. Clearly decide what you want. Don't base your future on good or bad things from the past. Base your future on who you want to be and what kind of person you want to be with. So this is going to be a really powerful month for you to tie those loose ends. So it's going to be really interesting. So my dear Scorpio, please let me see you. Say hi on a live reading on Saturday. Come by. Try to win your free reading. And the best, easiest way is like if you subscribe. So you see this button here. Click on it and then you're going to get an invite when the live is on. So thank you so much, guys, for being here. And I'm looking forward for your comments. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in the live chat. All the best. Love you.